You ever have those days that it seems like everything is going right? Yesterday was like that for me. I was doing an energy clearing ritual and ceremony for the full moon. I liked what I had put together for the meditation part of it. I liked the information that I was gathering about this full moon happens to be snow full moon, hunger moon, stormy moon, all in the month of February. And it's because we get the most snow during this time. So, yeah, it's going to be stormy, it's going to be wild during the month of February. And this year is actually turning out to be quite that. Join me with a cup of tea. But I thought I was good. I was good to go. Everything seems to be moving forward. I was really happy with that. In fact, I had a Toastmasters meeting and I was the Toastmaster for the night. It was online, so I didn't have to travel anywhere, and I had all my notes together, what I needed to be the Toastmaster. Only just before the online clearing, energy clearing, I was like, how am I supposed to get into this? Now, wait a minute, where's the link? This is a different venue than I've gone on, and now I'm like, and you get yourself a little flustered when you're late. You want to be, at least me, I do. I want to be present and ready when people walk in my door. I want to be able to just greet them and go, hi, not have, oh, there she is. Lesley showed up. She's ready to go. That kind of flustering doesn't help when you're doing something in front of a group for the first time. And yet, there's something about being in your own element, right? The things that you know for sure, that you impart your wisdom, your medicine to others, just kind of like falls all into place, doesn't it? Once you start speaking, once you start moving forward. And that's how I felt. I felt just in my own realm. The shamanic work that I do is so second nature to me that to set up the circle and to invite people on a guided meditation on a moonlit path into a lunar temple is just where I need to be. And when I bring people out and nobody says anything, you offer that time for them to speak. You go, okay, they didn't quite get this. Our doubts and our fears, at least mine, came up. And I said, well, let me just share a little more, talk a little more, get them a little into it till we move on to the next thing, because we're ending with a fire ceremony and you get to let go of whatever you're releasing at the full moon. And that's part of the ritual of a moon, especially a full one, is that what those seeds that you planted in the beginning of the month, which was the new moon, at the new moon, what you've planted comes to fruition at the full moon. But the full moon, it doesn't mean that you have everything right there. The full moon really illuminates everything. It's huge. The snow makes it even brighter outside as it glistens. And that's when you go into that inner place and knowing your own wisdom and guidance within and go, what do I need to release? What do I need to let go now, in the here and now, so that I can move forward little by little this next month and keep working toward whatever it is that I'm working for? That vision, that desire, that passion. And sometimes you want to keep going and say, okay, I'm not deep enough. I don't understand where I'm at. What more do I have to surrender? And in fact, that's a word that came up for me this week as we did in our meditation group. It the mantra was one of drop in, I drop in, I surrender, I flow. And the word surrender is one of those words that's like, oh, I don't know if I want to let go of my power, my space, my being. Put up your hands and surrender. It has a lot of baggage around it, if you will, being something that there is always a winner and a loser, and you have to surrender. Games, wars, any kind of competition, or male, female, usually the female surrendering to the male. And why do you want to surrender? You want to keep parts of yourself. Ah, I said, keep parts of myself. I got it. This is what I'm doing. I'm not surrendering to anything outside of me. I'm surrendering to me. I'm surrendering to myself. I'm surrendering to who I am and what I know within inside me. That medicine, that wisdom and guidance, that intuition that plays such a big part in my life. Oh, okay. I can live with that. And so, like I said, last night was great. I did Toastmasters, and I I love it. I love hearing other people speak, and it was very easy. I have a script I can go through, and I had things ready in case somebody wasn't there, and it was only my second time, but I got some good compliments. And I didn't, you watch yourself go, a little bit ego in that. We don't necessarily want to have our ego, but sometimes our ego does play a part in it. And so when it does rear its head, that's another time to step back or ponder, well, if you did so well at that task, why is it? Why did you do well? Is it because you are a teacher, a coach, spiritual and personal growth? Is it just your nature? No. It is because of the mentors that I have that have shown the way before me. And that's true in everything. There's a lot in this world, and we say it over and over again. As coaches, as mentors, and being out here, you're tuning in to listen to something that maybe is going to spark something within me. I can relate to that or relate to that person. That's the person I want to work with. But most of the guidance and wisdom is something, at least in my case, was frickin' messy to go through. There's sometimes that I think I have this, and that's it, isn't it? I think I have something. But did I embody it fully within me? Did I really own here what it was within me that makes that so special? That makes it part of my living daily life. Now, here. That's all we have. There is no past. There is no future. I mean, you start to think about the past, and okay, I'm now in the past. And you think about the future. Oh, yeah, where am I going? What am I doing? Oh, I can't wait to do that. And you're in the future. But when you're here, right here, now, at this moment, that's what you have. This is what I have in which to create. This is what I have to embody and enjoy the life I want. So when I was a speaker, leading a group, a thought leader, a teacher, leading the energy clearing and the ritual for that night, I was there at that moment, fully present, fully in my own shoes, my own power. Not only that, but an hour later, I was still standing in my own shoes and my own power. Because I was so confident at that point when taskmasters, one of two women in the room, and it seemed easy. It seemed to flow, it seemed to go, and that's the time that we know, wow, I've really got this. Everything just kind of flows, right? Until it doesn't. Until you can't move forward and you can't go backward. You're just stuck right where you are. And I felt like this morning was one of those days. It's a day that I get up early, I have my meditation group, which is wonderful, and then we're doing a reading, and it's read out loud and a discussion over a book we're doing. But I have to get ready for a meeting that will be at 8 a.m. in the morning, and oh my gosh, it's a snowy day. The wind is blowing. Good 35 to 40-mile-an-hour gusts going out there. But I really want to go to this event. I'm feeling really good because what they're doing today, of all days, is something I suggested. It's something I know and I got the background to, and I want to be there. Get downstairs and see my husband didn't go to work. He's hanging out. And I thought, oh, he's just cautious. That's all. He's a cautious man. The wind's blowing. What big deal is it when the wind is blowing? It wasn't snowing hard or anything else. I get in my car and I have my coffee, not tea. And I start to drive down our driveway, which is a fairly long driveway. Go across in between two meadows, and the wind is blowing. Did I tell you that? The wind is gusting. It is up. It is white everywhere. There aren't really any markers on our driveway. We have a wonderful snow plow person who comes and knows exactly where our driveway is. And it all works perfectly, beautifully. Only he hadn't been there to do the driveway because he only comes when it snows 3 inches. Hadn't snowed 3 inches yet. But what it had done was the wind had blown so much that there was a snowdrift across a section of the driveway. Unfortunately for me, as I got down to the little bit of a hill down and to the point where that had happened, I was like, oh no. And I stopped. I couldn't bust through as I might have at some point. I didn't consider that I was going to stop dead in my Subaru. It's an all-wheel drive. Why couldn't it clear it? I could understand my husband didn't go to work because he's got a bit farther to travel than I do. He doesn't know what the roads are going to be over the mountain and to the next place. I mean, I had to go over the mountain, but not a big deal, right? I don't think it's a big deal. I'm stuck. I can't move forward and I can't move back. I am so stuck. Luckily, I had my boots on, and luckily I had my long coat on. I get out, and it's got a hood to it, and the wind is whipping so bad, it's like gonna blow me off the driveway. Walk up to the house, I get the shovel, and I come back down, and I start shoveling. And the stuck where you can't go anywhere, you can't move forward is like, that's a pretty big message saying, guess what? You weren't supposed to go anywhere. You were supposed to stay home. And maybe my ego got in my way. thinking, I can handle this. This isn't any big deal. I'll just go. An hour later, getting the snow from around the car, from underneath the car, because it was up on the snow itself and the wheels weren't touching. I didn't do it by myself. My husband kindly came down and helped me shovel snow and watch me try and back up and then slide a little and get stuck again in the drift. And we finally did it, like I said, an hour later. And luckily we did, because the wind kept coming and the snow was piling over the top of where I'd gotten stuck. And it was a journey. It was a great exercise. And I felt dumb, right? I felt ashamed. I should have known better, right? You should all over yourself. If I hadn't tried to do this, if I just stayed home, all the little talk that's in there kind of starts. And yet, on the other hand, I went, hey, I can handle this. I've gotten stuck in a snowdrift before. I can undo it. Not a big deal. Even if the wind starts to spit freezing rain, we're still doing it. And luckily for me, my husband has a great sense of humor. He says, we could be living in Alaska with this kind of weather. I said, true. Or how about in Colorado, where they're getting 40 inches at one dump? He says, if we were getting 40 inches, honey, you wouldn't have got out the door. True, I wouldn't have. We get stuck. Real stuck. Where we can't go backwards, we can't go forward. So what do you do in life when you get so stuck and hung up on what you think you're going to do, the direction you want to move, and then something closes? The door closes, the opportunity isn't there. It's hard. It's like going uphill and slipping back down the hill again. You sit back. You take a few breaths. You might even take out one of your favorite oracle decks. Why not? What is it that I needed to learn? And that's really what the question is. When I do a daily reading, I ask, what do I need to know about being aligned with my vision today? So what did I need to know about being aligned with my vision today? I'll take it. I didn't go all the way in. Lots of times they'll fall out at me or slide away. But this one, choosing your path. Now it says all is possible. Choosing your path. All is possible. New vistas are ahead, and you have the power to choose. And within this is your freedom. Do not allow the restrictions and limitations placed on you by the expectations of others deter your path. Be daring. Cast aside conventions and restrictions. Dance. Laugh. Explore. Go beyond your predictable behavior. Say yes to life. You support others in stepping into their freedom. And then there's a deeper meaning. Choose life on your terms. Move beyond those situations that you've outgrown. Sometimes to be free, the traveler needs to put down his pack and just keep walking. There are times to live an ordinary life, but there are also times to cast ordinary things aside and fling your arms to the heavens in joy. You're not on the planet to always meet the needs and expectations of others. You're here to explore, expand, and step into your extraordinary self. Don't unconditionally accept the rules you've placed on yourself or that others have placed upon you. Choose pathways that lead to greater freedom and happiness. So perhaps my path wasn't as stuck as I thought it was. Perhaps the message in life sometimes is to stop and breathe and to reevaluate the path you're on. How do I get there? I didn't physically get to where I wanted to go, but I did get much more than I had anticipated. I had the fun of being outside in this gusting wind that was ready to blow me over, in the freezing rain that, if you put your face to it, it pelts it and it hurts it, right? But I also had the satisfaction of going, I can do this. If I just shovel out, and I mean get down on my hands, knees, stomach, and get the snow out from underneath the car that it's sitting on, if I clear that away, then I have a clear path. I could go backward, a little bit forward, and then back it up again. Oops, a little bit stuck. Come forward, and then back it all the way back up. Put it in its place in the drive. Yeah, there's a lot of satisfaction in that. And that's what it is in lots of times. That freedom, that joy, that relief, when you are doing what you so love in this life, it's important. The world needs you, and it needs you now more than ever. If you're a thought leader, if you're a healer, a coach, if you have something you want to say, if you're looking to do your business in a different way and do it from your own soul guidance, your soul path and wisdom and guidance, then make a decision. Do it for you, not for others. Choose your path. What will that be? Sometimes it's easier to do it with someone else or a group of someone. Certainly was easier to have my husband come down and help me shovel. So drop a line, let me know. And yeah, thanks for being here today. Until next time.